Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, sir, and today we were from Group 5. We'll tell you about our essay that have a title is Cross-Cultural Communication Dynamics in the Influence of Verbal and Non-Verbal Roles in Japanese Cultural Context. Okay, our here is our members of our group. The first one is Katie. The second one is Sarah. The third one is me, of course, Dipo. And the last one is Tiara Aprilia Wandari. Okay, we move for the first topic. That is, let's move to introduction. It is cross-cultural communication in Japanese cultural context is nuanced interplay of verbal and non-verbal elements. The intricate dynamics of communication within traditions are shaped by a synthesis of spoken words, gestures, and unspoken cues. This essay explores the influential roles that both verbal and non-verbal communications play in facilitating and complicating cross-cultural interaction within the Japanese cultural milieu. Communication has an important role in the world. Communication can even touch all aspects of life. Humans as long beings and can only live, develop, and play a role as a human being by connecting and cooperating with other humans by means of communications. Almost most of the humans' activities are always related to communication. Everything requires communications. That is cites from Miller from 1951. Communications means that information is social process by which individuals use symbols to process it, to create and interpret meaning in their environment. And communication is the process of giving and receiving information. Okay, move to verbal communication. That is communication that use words either verbally in writing. Verbal communication is most widely used in human relationships to express feelings, emotion, thought, ideas, facts, data, and information as well. And each other arguing humans communicate using verbal non-verbal codes. Non-verbal codes are called signs or silent language. And non-verbal codes are called gesture or silent language. Through non-verbal communication, we can tell the emotions, mood, or of a person, whether they are happy, angry, confused, or sad, or many feelings. Our initial impression of a person is often based on their non-verbal behavior, which encourages us to get to know more. Non-verbal communication is all signs that are not bad words. I mean, all signs that not words. I mean, they not using a word. Nonverbal messages are very influential in communications. Verbal language goes hand in hand with non-verbal language. For example, when we say yes, we nod our hands. Non-verbal communication is more honestly express what we want to express because it's spontaneous. Okay, cross-cultural communication experts such as Edward T. Hall and Gerd Hofstede emphasize that cultural difference can affect message interpretation. For example, in Japanese culture, verbal expression may be accompanied by non-verbal cues that have deep meaning. Okay, that's all for me. Next, from my friends.
Body. In the Japanese context, verbal communication is characterized by a certain level of formality and politeness The intricate use of honorifics on nuanced language choices reflects a societal emphasis and respect and hierarchy. Understanding the subtitles of Javanese verbal communication requires an awareness of the cultural nuances embedded in linguistic expressions. In Japanese culture, as in many other cultures, nonverbal cues such as body language and facial expression play a very important role in daily communication. Here are some reasons why nonverbal cues are given so much attention in Japanese culture. The one, rigid expression. Body language and facial expressions can provide an additional dimension to verbal communication. They can express nuances of emotion, feeling, or intent that may be difficult to express short word alone. 2. Importance of ethics and respect. Japanese culture strongly emphasize values such as good manners, ethics, and respect for others. Nonverbal cues can be used to convey respect, such as giving a smile or giving a polite greeting. And 3. Indirect communication. In Japanese culture, communication is often indirect. This means that people may not convey their message directly or bluntly. Nonverbal cues can help convey a message without having to use words that are too assertive or insulting. For assertiveness and politeness. In the Japanese culture context, there is a tendency to avoid open conflict or delay confrontations. Therefore, nonverbal cues can be used to convey discernment or discomfort in a more subtle way, without having to say indirectly. And 5. Cultural contact and traditions. Japanese culture has certain traditions and procedures communication. Nonverbal cues often follow cultural norms and traditions that have been passed down from generation to generations. And 6. Importance of social relationships. Social relationships and interactions between individuals are highly valued in Japanese culture. Nonverbal cues can be used to build and maintain relationships. That's all for me. The next explanation will be explained by Sarah.
Now I will continue the explanation of material present by my partner. In Japanese cultural context, the interplay between verbal and non-verbal communication create a delicate dance where harmony is prized. Misinterpretations can arise when individuals from different cultural backgrounds fail to grasp the significance of this dynamic. Therefore, fostering cross-cultural competence involves not only linguistic proficiency but also a deep appreciation for the cultural cues in both verbal and non-verbal communication, hierarchy and symbolism. The in Japanese communication are reflected in his famous work, especially in his book entitled "The Interpretation of Culture." Clifford Geertz, 1973, an intensive researcher in Java, Indonesia, and has contributed greatly to our understanding of Japanese culture. Cultural adaptation is the key to communicating effectively when one is in a cultural different environment such as Japanese culture. Here I will provide some adaptation strategies that can help individuals from outside the Japanese culture to communicate more effectively. You can see in the PowerPoint. The first, understand cultural value and norms. Learn Javanese cultural values such as hospitality, respect, and humble attitude. The second, pay attention to body language and facial expressions. Nonverbal cues such as body language and facial expression have deep meaning in Japanese culture. Number 3, practice good manners in communication. Japanese culture highly value good manners and communication attitude. Number 4, open communication indirectly. In Japanese culture, communication is often indirect. And number 5, build interpersonal relationship. Japanese culture places great emphasis on social relationship, and the last, get to know local traditions and ceremonies, learn about local traditions and ceremonies in Japanese culture. By applying these strategies, individuals from outside the Japanese culture can build a more effective communication bridge and deepen their experience in different cultural settings. Okay, I think that's enough from me and will be explained by my partner.
So, the conclusion is the dynamic of cross-cultural communication within a Javanese cultural context are intricate and multifaceted, influenced by both verbal and nonverbal elements. Achieving effective communication requires an understanding of the cultural nuances embedded in linguistic expression, gesture, and unspoken cues. As our world becomes increasingly interconnected, embracing and appreciating this cross-cultural dynamic is essential for building meaningful connection and for fostering mutual understanding, and can apply Japanese strategies or methods even though they are not Japanese or do not live in Java.
Okay, that's all from our presentation from Group 4. We feel sorry if we had say something wrong about the material or something else. And thank you for your attention for who watched this video and watch this learn explanations from our group. Last word is see you soon and thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.